The Hellish Planets in the Bhagavat Purana. The 26th chapter of the 5th canto of the Bhagavat Purana focuses on the notorious hellish planets. In many traditions, the concept of hell and its various sections is a place or places of extreme punishments and unpleasantness awaiting the sinful at death. Hell as a fiery and eternal place was originally depicted in Zoroastrianism and later by the Greeks. Still later it is also reflected in Islam and Christian art and imagery, especially between 1300 and 1600 AD, often as 7 horrid layers. Hell is not eternal in Jewish belief. The concept of a place called Gehinnom is for temporary purification. In Sikhism, hell is viewed as a state of mind and experiences within the current earthly existence. And let's face it, situations on this planet can be aptly described as hell on earth, including in modern cities. Also note that modern experiential descriptions of hell, as well as heaven or better places, are described by people who have had near-death experiences. In the secular world, sometimes hell has even been portrayed lightheartedly, perhaps due to a lack of fear, belief, or comprehension. How does the place fit into the concept of a loving God? It's worth mentioning that traditional African tribes, Native Americans, and Aboriginals didn't or don't have a conception of hell per se, but many ancient cultures did have a cosmology that included a layered underworld. In Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, hell or Naraka is present, but like in Judaism, is not eternal. It is a series of places where the sinful burn off a lot of bad karma before taking birth again as a human or animal. According to the law of karma, everything we do in this world creates a reaction which we must later experience. We are accountable. Now let's face it, there are people who have done terrible things in the past, and in a just and meaningful universe, they surely should receive a heavy karmic reaction, especially for those who got away with it during their earthly lives. But eventually all souls will reform, realize their true spiritual identities, and return to Vaikuntha, an eternal realm of eternality and bliss. But to enter there, one needs to be qualified. Part of that process may involve punishment, eventually leading to reformation. It's tough love. Similar to many other traditions, the hellish planets are placed at the lower regions of the universe, accessible by travelling in one's subtle astral body. They are specifically ranked below the subterranean planets, and just slightly above Anantashesh, who rests upon the surface of the Garbhodaka Ocean, the primordial waters of this universe. In Eastern traditions, when a pious person dies, a person's subtle body may be met by the Vishnudutas, in which case they'll be taken upwards to an awesome place, or a better birth on earth. Congratulations. But if the Yamadutas come for you, I would recommend you chant the names of God by whichever name you know him. Otherwise, those guys will take you to the court of Yamaraj for judgment. The concept of Yamadutas or similar is quite prominent in Eastern traditions. In Yama's court, if deemed necessary, and especially if you're not sorrowful, you could well be sent on a vacation to one of the hellish planets. The 5th canto's 26th chapter lists examples of what treats awaits the sinful. It adds there are thousands of hellish planets altogether. It also states that some will have to suffer for up to 10,000 years. Although not eternal, that's still a strikingly long time. Yet note that the Puranas also explain that time passes differently in other parts of the universe, so by earthly calculation it may not be so long. Bhaktivinoda Thakur viewed the Bhagavatam's hellish planets as a symbolic or poetic device to motivate individuals towards God consciousness. But some have suggested he was just being diplomatic. Significantly, the third verse of the 26th chapter explains that those who perform impious acts out of ignorance or with mental issues receive much less punishment than those who should know better. Anyhow, so let's have a quick tour of some of the hellish planets. Goody. A person who maintains himself by committing violence against innocent animals is sent to Rurav. There, the animals he killed take birth as creatures called Rurus and take their revenge upon him. Those who capture different animals and birds and then cook them are put into Kombipak, where they themselves are boiled in oil. An educated person addicted to drinking wine and is a foolish drunk is put into Ayapan, where he is forced to drink boiling liquid iron. A person who kills a Brahmana, holy person, is sent to Kalasutra. The planet is made of copper, and it is as hot as an oven. A government official who dishonestly administers so-called justice is taken to Sukaramukha, where he is mercilessly crushed, like how one crushes sugarcane to squeeze out its juice. Any person who does not receive or feed a hungry guest, but who personally enjoys eating in front of them, is put into Krimi Bojan. There's a huge lake there, full of worms who live on each other. He takes birth as one of those worms. A person who has illicit sexual relations with someone else's wife or another highly inappropriate person goes to Taptashrumi, where he is forced to embrace a red-hot iron form of a woman, or a man as the case may be. A person who enjoys sexual relations with animals is put into Vajra Kantaka Shlamali. There is a silk cotton tree full of huge thorns. The Yamadutas hang the person on that tree and is forcibly pulled down. A person born into a high-ranking family but who is corrupt is put into the hellish trench of blood, pus, urine, bones, flesh and fat, called the Vaitarani River. A person who unnecessarily kills animals in the name of a concocted religious sacrifice is put into the hell known as Vishashan. There, the assistants of Yamaraj give him extreme pain in return for his sin. Professional assassins who set fire to people's homes or administers poison to kill someone is put into Sharame Yadan. In this place, there are hundreds of vicious dogs with huge sharp teeth who ferociously devour the person. One who violates etiquette by being disrespectful to superiors and seniors is thrown headfirst into Kasharakadam, where he will suffer great tribulations. Someone who bears false witness, severely lies in business or deceptive in charity, is taken on the top of a cliff and thrown into Avichimat. The ground down there is made of sharp stone, and the sinner is thrown down many times. A person who ties up and tortures or kills innocent animals under his care is put into the hell called Shulapot. There, their own bodies will be also tied up, and that they, starved and thirsty, will be tortured. A person who causes deliberate pain to others without any necessity will be sent to Dangosukha, where huge multi-headed serpents come and eat them, just like they were mice. A person who shows unwarranted wrath towards guests in his house is put into a hell known as Payavatan. There he is gazed at by hard-eyed vultures, herons and similar birds, who swoop down and pluck out his eyes. And a final example. A person maddened by possessing riches and thus deeply absorbed in thinking of how to collect money and nothing else is put into the hell known as Suchimukha. There the agents of Yamaraj stick thread through that person's body, like weavers manufacturing cloth. Lovely. Well, I think that's enough for now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and watch out.